What's up?
Hello.
Welcome back. We missed a
It's-
week of recording.
Oh, do we?
I think
They
we
don't
did.
know that.
Oh, true. Oopsies.
We are on episode 19.
19. I forgot what we're doing. We're doing AI. This is how unprepared I am. We're doing Ask AI today, again, as usual. I am on ChatGPT, and you are on.
Co-pilot.
And what are we asking?
Why did Japan stop invading Asian countries?
So, in case you don't know your history or you live in America, Japan was the aggressor of World War II in Asia.
No, I don't think it's just World War II.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just
World War
throughout
II
the
and
last
before
500
that, yeah.
years.
Pre-World War II and also the main one in World War II in Asia.
Yeah. So the reason I wanted to ask this is because coming back from Korea, a lot of their history was obviously because of Japan invading them.
Yeah.
So apparently Japan invaded them like 3,000 times
Yeah.
over the course of their like history.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is a terrible thing to do. But Japan today, you wouldn't expect
No,
that.
because they
It's all, look at Hello Kitty.
yeah they got you with all the cutesy shit.
Yeah, look at Hello Kitty. Here's
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Yeah, try our
Don't
claw
worry,
machines.
yeah,
Look at
don't-
all these lights.
Yeah, lights, neon, sounds, music.
sounds. Pretty much.
Kawaii.
Kawaii. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if you go to any Asian country, they will have something about Japan.
Yeah, we were invaded by
into the-
Japan,
Yes.
the Philippines.
So when I was in Manila, I went to it's called Fort Bonifacio, which is like the most historical place in Manila.
Mhm.
And there's a part where they found like a tomb, or it's not a tomb, it's like an underground dungeon tunnel thing.
Yes.
So when the Americans found it, there was like thousands of bodies inside, or
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands.
Killed
Can't
by
remember
the
number.
Japanese.
Yes, exactly. So imagine how many people were under there. So yeah, then they also have comfort women. That was a big thing in the Philippines because Japanese people used comfort women a lot when they came over and invaded it.
Korea as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
comfort
it's-
women.
Yeah, it's a big thing in a lot of Asian countries they invaded.
Yeah.
But you would never know that
You,
if you go to
you wouldn't know.
Japan.
They don't talk about it in Japan. It's not the you don't land in Narita Airport and be like, they don't have a map of
No.
look at all the Asian countries we've invaded.
Well, Jacob and I went to Hiroshima, we went to the Atomic Bomb Museum.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. He pointed out, but the wording that they used around the bomb, it was something like, this was like a consequence of a political mistake.
Oh,
Interesting wording.
I don't know. That's like gaslighting, isn't it?
Yeah,
form
or
of-
just it's like not taking ownership. If
Of
that's what it is.
Why they got bombed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to say that it is their political mistake, but not really saying it's their fault at the same time.
Yeah, it was a political mistake
Yeah.
rather than saying we fucked up.
Yeah, we fucked up by invading everyone and thinking we could be a superpower.
That's just a little history for you guys on Japan. And
I still love Japan though.
Of course we do.
I speak Japanese enough to love it.
Of course we do,
Yeah.
but I don't think our ancestors loved Japan that much.
No, but I also think the rest of the world, the rest of the world outside of Asia,
Loves Japan.
tends to forget.
Tends to forget.
that
Oh
this
yeah, it's
happened.
all it's
Asians never
it's,
forget.
Yeah, it's all just
Yeah.
washed out with the fun
Yeah,
stuff. The
but Asians
oh look at the
never forget.
bamboo forest,
Yes,
look at Mount
exactly.
Fuji, look at Lawson. Here's
Yeah.
another 7-Eleven. Here's all the tasty things you can eat
Yeah.
at that combini. Just you wait.
But Asians will never
Yeah,
forget.
but we never forget. Co-pilot says Japan's aggressive expansion during World War II was driven by several factors, including fear of outside aggression, growing nationalism, and a need for natural resources, which is apparently oil.
Interesting.
However, Japan eventually stopped its invasions due to a combination of military defeats, economic strain, and international pressure.
That's practically what ChatGPT said.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Like, the first paragraph was pretty much the same, just different wordings.
Okay, I'm going to read the second one and see if it compares. The turning point came with significant defeats such as the Battle of Midway in 1942 and the subsequent Allied advances. These defeats weakened Japan's military capabilities and morale. Additionally, the prolonged war efforts strained Japan's economy, leading to shortages of essential resources like oil and food.
See.
Ultimately, Japan's surrender in 1945 was influenced by the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
Yeah.
which demonstrated the devastating power of nuclear weapons and hastened the end
Yeah.
of the war. And what
Okay.
aspect of history interests you the most? None of that. So yeah, basically they got essentially with
pretty
the two
much.
bombs.
Uh,
America was like, boom, stop it. boom, stop it.
Yeah,
And then
so
they did.
what I learned in the atomic bomb museum was that America was targeting like epicenters that have the biggest impact to their economy and also the biggest spread of the bomb. So Kyoto was actually one of them.
Really?
Yeah. So then if they didn't stop with Nagasaki and Hiroshima,
They would have gone to Kyoto. Oh, wow. That it would. It's just really putting an end to them.
I'm pretty sure it's Kyoto. But I'm like, because it's like such an epicenter. But Hiroshima was the best one because it's a port. So it would close off access to the ports and it would like just destroy the whole city. Nagasaki, I haven't been to Nagasaki, so don't quote me on that. But I would like to go and learn about the history of it.
I also then asked, why did Japan invade Korea? That's because just where I was visiting recently. But it basically says national safety, which I'm sure, Korean resources, both human and material. I remember going up to the DMZ, and they basically said that it's because of the Japanese invasion is what caused the split between North and South Korea.
I didn't know that.
Because...
But Japan's not a communist or fascist country.
No, but because to help Korea from Japan, Americans helped the South.
And then
Russia helped the North.
Yeah, that's right. That makes sense.
And then their ideology absorbed within those groups.
Yeah.
And then when the war was over, they didn't get along, which makes sense.
That's practically Vietnam now too. Interesting.
So that's the reason why we've got two Koreas.
Interesting.
That's terrible, actually.
Which
don't you
one?
think?
That is too. I mean, Korea was in martial law yesterday, so I feel like that's
we're all and that's South Korea as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I don't think it's gonna get any better, but
I wonder what North Korea thinks right now. They're probably just watching.
They're in forever martial law.
They're like, oh, you got a day of it. Wow. And then I'm going to ask why Japan invaded the Philippines. Here's 3 reasons the co-pilot gave me. So they invaded the Philippines in December 1941 for several strategic reasons.
We have good resources.
Yes, so secure resources.
Yeah.
Philippines' location was crucial for securing resources, particularly oil from the Dutch East Indies, which is now Indonesia, and then prevent the U.S. military operations. So again...
Yeah, that's the main reason why everyone invades us.
Yeah.
That's why China's trying to invade us right now.
Are they actually?
Yeah.
So is the Philippines just in danger of China invading them?
So there's I'm not fully knowledgeable about it, but in the area where like Philippines, Malaysia, Vietnam, the
Philippine Sea.
The Philippine Sea, yeah. China wants that because it will control a lot of transportation into Asia.
Yeah.
And it will block America.
Yes, which America's basically putting a tariff on them anyway.
And that's exactly why America came for World War II in the Philippines as well, to save us. But really, because...
No, they bought us.
Yes, they bought us multiple times.
Yeah.
But they're always saying they saved us. But it's because they have such good access to China. Oh, China wasn't...
China via the Philippines.
They weren't a big threat back then. But
through China?
Yeah, like in
no
World War II.
Yeah.
But like they have good access to Japan.
People slept on China.
Yeah. So Japan actually came down the north of Luzon. And then America came from like the south of Luzon, and then they met and fought.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, the Japanese causing
mayhem. Do you remember the story? I don't know if you know the story, but there was a Japanese soldier who was hiding in the forest of the Philippines for like 50 years or something. And then they found him, and then he thought that the war was still going. So he was like attacking people, and they were like, no, the war ended like so long ago.
What?
Yeah, let me find it. Japanese soldier in Philippine forest. This happened like years ago.
So he was just been in the forest?
He was hiding in the forest until he came out in 1974. And the war ended in 1945.
What?
So I think he was in the jungle for ages thinking that the war was still going.
Oh, just chilling.
And then he was shooting like locals and the police.
What?
Because they're very like...
He had enough armor?
I guess so. Or he would maybe shoot people and then steal theirs.
Oh, wow.
But he didn't want to surrender until he was relieved of his duty by his former commanding officer.
He was probably dead by that
No,
time.
apparently he flew to from Japan.
Oh, to be
the
like,
forest, yeah.
you're all good. We're all good
Yeah.
now.
Because, they're very like,
America owns them now.
yeah, pretty much. And I think because, it's in the Japanese culture to be like, you have to fight for our country. And a lot of people, like, seppuku, like, kill themselves.
Oh, I know seppuku. I
Yeah.
watched Shogun.
Shogun. Yeah. So there's like seppuku
I don't know why I'm
themselves.
laughing. That's a terrible concept.
But yeah, so he was there for ages. And then he really thought that like
That's commitment to the cause. Good for him.
but he was declared a
anything.
hero when he came back to Japan.
Yeah, I mean,
in
what are they gonna do?
1974.
Yeah, but
Whereas in Germany,
yeah,
everyone that was part of the Nazi army
yeah.
was like, well, everyone, but most of them were like received war crime sentences.
But isn't that like fair?
But this is a man who fought in World War II for Japan.
Oh, that's true.
So
So he should be getting war crime.
Yeah,
But
but
they
he was
weren't.
celebrated
Yeah,
as
of
a hero
course.
because I guess he was staying there for like 29 years.
Yeah.
But in Germany, that man would have been sentenced immediately, like war crime participation.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, that's
But
always.
again, it's Japan. It's in their blood.
Yeah, it's in their blood. We did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Please don't hate us if you're listening to this podcast. We're not racist.
Well, I don't know if you know, but I work near the city
Okay.
and I drive on a daily basis, and driving means I have to park. And there's not enough parking spots in the suburb I work at because people park like idiots.
What do you mean? Is this parallel parking?
Yeah,
Is it-
parallel parking.
Okay, yeah.
So there's no lines in
Yeah.
most streets for
Yeah.
parallel parking, right?
Yeah.
So people will think that their car is just twice the size of what
Yeah.
it is. So they've got enough space at the front to fit half a car and
Yeah.
enough space at the back to fit another half a car.
Yeah.
And then everyone starts doing that. And before you know it, there's no spots left for me.
Yeah.
It's all because everyone's fucking inconsiderate.
That's true. They don't give a shit about you.
Exactly. So then visiting Japan and Korea,
Mm.
I mean, we were just talking about Japan and stuff prior. And seeing how
Yeah.
Asians, like, when they walk on the street, even when they cross
yeah.
traffic lights and stuff,
They wait.
well, they wait, but they're also very considerate of what's happening around them.
Yeah.
So, like, there was a few times where the crossing, right, the green man crossing, it'd go green, and then the Asians, the group of them, wherever they are, I don't know which specific country they're from, but the Asians would cross, but then they would look at the drivers and then they'd start walking really fast,
Yeah.
even though it's still green. Even
yeah,
though
because
it's
they
still-
think it's an inconvenience for
Exactly.
them. Yeah.
and even though it's green for them and they've got probably like 20 more seconds of green, they will just rush through and then they'll like apologize.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it got me thinking, I think Asians have a community-centric approach.
that's
Well, at
true.
least our culture, like Asian culture does.
It is a thing. I think growing up in Australia, I have to battle between wanting to be individualistic
Yeah.
and having to grow up in a community collectivist.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Collectivist. So
Yeah.
we come from a collectivist culture.
Yeah.
So that was always a big thing for me growing up because I had strict parents. So there's this part of me that would always be like, I want to do this, but then you feel guilty because
doing-
it goes
yeah.
against like
Everything
being
you
there
know.
for your family.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, why can't I do this? But then in the back of your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for not going to this event because my parents are there. They really wanted me to be there, or like something like that.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. But yes, Asians are very collectivist in how they think and act. I was just thinking, because I was like this, I am still like this, but like in public places, one time years ago, my friends and I went out to like a Viet place.
Yeah.
And my friend, he's like Turkish background, but
Mm-hmm.
he was born in Turkey, but he grew up here. He the side table of the restaurant, and he looked around and it's like the restaurant was like empty. He's like, can we sit here in this like middle table?
Mm-hmm.
So the man was like, okay. And then my friend would still be like he'd just kept asking for things,
Yeah.
but like in a sort of like demanding like.
Yeah.
And my Asian friend and I was sitting there like, it's okay, we don't need to do
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And like we're like dying
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the inside.
yeah, I get what you mean.
And then he was like apologizing to the waiter, like we're so sorry for
yeah,
him.
yeah.
But my friend, he's like not Asian. He's just like, it's like whatever. I'm a paying customer. but we're like
Yeah,
dying.
no, yeah. I would be like so embarrassed. I would probably never show my face to that restaurant
Yeah.
again because then the owner thinks that I'm some hooligan who's
Yeah.
rude and nasty.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the rudeness of it.
Yeah, I get what you mean because I still like even with the parking situation,
Yeah.
I always consider
To think about.
to think about
others,
other
yeah.
people just to make sure. Oh, okay, there's other people that need to find a spot.
Yeah.
Every now and then, like I would love to be a selfish person,
Yeah.
and just like not think about anyone. But I think it's just in me to be like, oh my god. And then part of that is like when I leave the restaurant, I like to throw my rubbish out.
away. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
I hate leaving shit for other people. as
Yeah,
well.
like I know like food courts. Let's say you
Yeah.
leave a food court, I
I
take
throw
my
it
rubbish
away
with
too.
me, and like I know they've got cleaners doing it, but it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, they also provide you
Yeah.
bins.
Yeah, exactly. You're not lazy. But I'm the same. The only times the individualistic part comes out for me is when it's for my own benefit.
Yeah.
So, for example, if Jacob and I were like at a shopping center
yeah.
and there's like one parking spot, like say it's busy, you're looking for a park. And
Oh no, you take that.
I'm
But
like-
yeah,
I'm
you
like-
take that
but
because
Jacob's like so nice. He'd be like so slow and being patient to
Nah.
give way to people. I'm like, no,
no, you gotta take that.
weave, go.
Yeah, you know why? Because all those cars are also Asian people,
Absolutely.
and then you'll just find one Asian mum who will like stand there and hog it,
Yes.
but until her husband comes around.
But the funny, ironic thing about this is when you travel with mainland Chinese tourists, they are not collectivists. They're very individualistic.
Oh, I know.
They're very for like their own
Yeah,
self.
mainly because I know that from just experiencing them as a tourist myself
Yeah.
and how loud and a bit of
Yeah.
obnoxious they can
And
be.
I feel like that's like stem from obviously cultural background of not having.
They're like Americans.
But yes, but I think the difference is they didn't have anything, so they had to learn to fight for the survival.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Which was whereas Americans are just Americans.
Privileged.
Yeah, privileged.
Yeah,
They come
so
from
it's
the
kind
other
of
end.
like, oh, I've had everything, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to act like this.
Yeah.
Whereas your mainland Chinese is like, I had nothing,
yeah, yeah.
and now I'm here, so I'm going
So
to
I'm
act
gonna
like
act like
this.
this. Yeah, exactly. Because I've had to fight for everything in
I
my
wonder if
life.
Filipinos are like that.
No, we're actually super hospitable.
Oh,
It's
we
kinda
are. We really are.
annoying.
It's too bad. It's so bad how hospitable
It's
we
so
are.
annoying because it's in my blood. I cannot.
No, I'm telling you, it's true. Like, I'm planning for this party on Saturday,
Yeah.
and Vincent's like, don't cook too much food because every year I
No, but you
overcook.
can't.
And I'm like,
But you have leftovers this week. I'll take some home. I'll take
And
all
he's
of it
like-
home. Yeah.
and then inside me, I'm like, I had to like, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna cook this much, and then I had to like half that just because I was like, okay, I really
but then
shouldn't eat
don't
too
you have a
much.
fear that it's not enough?
Yes, I fear.
Yeah,
I
and
always
then-
fear
then
I'll
you'll
turn
go-
out to be like your fucking
Yeah,
ex.
exactly. And I'm like, you'll be exactly like it. And then I'm
But
gonna be coming to
he-
your party and be like, where's my food?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm actually providing food.
Yeah.
Your ex never did.
I love that we always circle back to this conversation.
Because it's true.
But yeah, actually it reminded me of something my ex said. So he couldn't wrap his head around us as a
Culture.
culture
Yeah, of course not. He's
being like this because he's white.
yeah.
But I have a friend who's also actually we all know this friend. She was in the first episode, Jocelyn.
Oh yeah.
Her partner, like maybe ages ago, he's also Caucasian.
Yeah.
Like I think back when Joss was living at home, her mum wanted her to come home that night, like because it was I don't know Asian parents. Even though she's like a grown ass woman.
No, she's not allowed to stay
But
the night. She has
yeah,
to come
but because she
home.
lived back then with her
Yeah,
parents,
yeah.
she had to go home.
Of course she did.
And this was like very late at night. So Jocelyn and her partner lives like on the other side of the city. So she's like, I gotta go. And
Oh yeah, there's the trauma right
he
there.
couldn't understand
why she had to go.
And it was like a huge thing. And she's just like, this is just how it is.
yeah.
And
Or
I-
else she'll never see you again.
Exactly. And then he's like, you are a grown ass woman. And then
Doesn't matter.
So I had to tell Jacob this. We were in Spain. We were discussing this conversation because his parents are very relaxed, but he's also
Liberal.
very liberal. But he's also like a boy.
So it's fine. It's different.
fine.
The
So,
safety
Yeah,
concerns is not as
it's
high.
not there.
Yeah.
But I had to explain to him like when I was living at home, this was my situation
Yeah.
too, because my dad was very strict.
Yeah. Because
it's-
what if he never came home?
Absolutely.
That's
He's-
the fear going into their heads. It's
Yes.
terrible that they think like that, but yeah,
but
it's the
because
reality,
that's reality
of it. Yeah.
But his house, his rules.
Yeah.
And then he was also like, but I don't understand, like being like in your late 20s.
Jacob, his house, his rules.
Literally, I'm like, if I wanted,
There's no explaining this.
if I wanted got a roof over my head, I have to listen
Yeah,
to it.
yes.
Otherwise, I could leave, which is what I did.
Yes. And now you don't have to go home at
so I
night.
can go home when I want
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
But that's the cultural trauma of collectivism right there. Even though we don't want to go home, we have to.
No, we have to.
Because they're freaking out.
The amount of times I've like had to go home,
Yeah.
even though I'm like drunk,
Absolutely.
is like each time, every
Oh.
time. I mean, there was times where I was like, I got away with it,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean I didn't like get off scot-free the next day
Yeah.
without being told off.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh my god, yeah, like it's how do you explain that to people that were like allowed to go drink at the park at 16? Do you get what I mean?
It's hard because it's just
Like,
like
I wasn't allowed to go to the
No.
park at that age.
I went to like the shopping center at that age, and my dad was still circling the shopping center.
Of course he was. That's next level. Actually, it's normal level.
normal for
Actually,
him,
it's
yeah.
normal.
But then to me, like you wouldn't really act like I'd still consider how they are,
Mm,
and I wouldn't just be like how I want to act
yeah.
because it's,
No, that's always in the back of your mind. There's other people that are involved in this
yeah.
situation.
And I think this translates across for like many many cultures where, like, for example, your parents end up living with you when they're old,
Yeah.
whereas like for the Anglo people, they put them in a home.
Yeah.
Which, like, I think about that now. I'm like, I think my dad will actually haunt me if I put him in a home.
Oh, he won't allow it.
No.
He will actually be like, no.
He'll haunt me when he
yeah.
dies.
No, he
And
won't.
so will my mum.
He won't die.
Yeah.
He'll show up at your front doorstep every night, being like, I'm home.
Yeah, but like,
Open up.
what about our grandma? How many of our aunties and uncles she's circled around?
Oh, yeah. I don't know
And
where
she's
she is
staying-
these days anymore.
I honestly don't know which auntie has her right
Yeah,
now.
I always thought she was like at your house until like.
No,
and then I
she's
found out
not.
she's like in the far away
Like,
now.
yeah,
I'm
whoop
like,
whoop
oh.
of the Philippines. But yeah, she just gets passed around her kids.
When you cross the street, do you start walking fast if there's a car there waiting?
Yeah, I do.
Me too.
But I also
feel bad.
jaywalk.
Oh, okay. Well,
So that's probably why I walk fast.
Those are two separate situations. Of course, if you're jaywalking, yeah, you're the biggest inconvenience
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
But if it's a green light, I always go like, oh, I feel.
I feel bad. And then once the man starts flashing, I'm like, oh no, so I hurry up
Yeah,
even more.
yeah. Like, and then there's this like internal pressure to get out
Yeah.
of the way and like make sure the traffic keeps running. But then,
Yes.
but then every time, like, if there was like a white person,
They just stroll.
they don't. Yeah, they take their sweet time.
Yeah, they do.
And me as a driver, I'm like, do you care? Because we're all sharing this green now.
Yeah.
I have to turn, and then the moment you start going red,
yeah.
I'm gonna start going yellow. The
Yeah.
light. So please hurry the fuck
I
up.
feel that too.
And then some of them don't even look. Like there's no, oh, I'm not gonna get run over. It's just confidence walking or looking at their phone,
That's
and it's just do.
that's called privilege.
And I'm like, I could just run you over.
yeah.
But Asians, most of the time, like I reckon 99% of the time that an Asian's about to cross, they always go.
They
"Look,"
do. And,
and
they
then
always
they-
like, they give you the head
Yeah,
nod or like
yeah,
they're sorry
yeah.
head nod, yeah.
And then they go, okay, I'm okay to cross.
Yeah, they do.
There's no privilege in crossing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I
So-
also feel, I feel that way when I'm driving as well. I feel the pressure behind me
Yeah.
to like turn or,
Move.
Yeah.
Yeah. To move. Anyway.
but no,
That's-
I feel that too.
What other ways are we like community centric? I mean, obviously we feed people, so when we host events,
we
can't-
we house our family.
Yeah.
A lot of the Filipinos work overseas and send money home.
Yes.
That's a big one.
That's actually I actually think that's quite sad.
Yeah, it's very
To be
sad
honest.
to be away from your family
Yeah,
and
I-
you're trying to give them a better life.
Pretty sure I've talked about it, but when we were in Malaysia
Mm.
and it was Christmas, we were sat across a family
Mm,
who had a Filipino
like a maid,
Maid?
yeah.
and she was obviously there as a maid. Like
Yeah,
she wasn't part of the family, but
Yeah.
obviously they took her out because she lives with them. And that was like Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And I really felt sorry for her because she was kind of just looking out the window or checking her
Oh,
phone,
Yeah.
even though she would like help with the family's kids. But I knew that she was definitely sending money home to
Yeah.
her kids
Yeah.
in
very
the
common,
Philippines.
yeah.
And I was telling myself like that's really sad.
But that's literally like a life for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for them, it's like life is better because they leave the Philippines, but they can't take their family, so it's not really that much better after.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's I think that's one that's cultural in the Philippines. Trying to think of another one.
Helping your younger siblings.
Oh, Vincent.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's kind of the same as like your parents going overseas to send money to you. It's very similar to that.
It's very similar to
You
that.
practically raise your siblings for you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, our auntie did that with like all her siblings.
Yeah. And
she's
then
the
that's why
oldest.
we're here
Yeah.
as well, is because she brought her 2 sisters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whereas like Jacob and his brother, 2 separate lives. They don't
So
care.
that's the thing, right? Like, I'm sure Jacob would help his brother if he was in need.
Yeah.
But I don't think Jacob would be like, oh, I'm going to help you migrate to another country.
No,
Vibes,
not
right?
necessarily. I mean, even for Christmas, I was like, "What are we getting your brother?" And he's like, "Nothing. We don't get each other presents." And see, look at your face. And I was like, "What do you mean?"
We're cousins and we get each other
Yeah.
presents every year. We have not missed a year in
Yeah.
like 5 years.
But they just don't. So if this is a shock.
I'm
to
not even
him.
here this Christmas
I
and we're
know.
still getting each other presents.
Jacob was like, "Whoa, we're getting like my parents' presents. We're getting like cousins' presents." And I was
That's too
like,
much for me.
"Well, it's not that too much. He's just new to it." So he's like happy to do it. But I was like, "Yeah, if we were in
Well,
the
the
Philippines,
man might be poor at the moment.
yeah, true. But if we were in the Philippines, we'd be getting more people presents."
Oh, yeah. Everyone gets a present.
Yeah. That's another one. Very community thing, like celebrations. So like Christmas would be like a whole, not family thing. It's like a whole street community thing.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't do that, though. I'd hate that. Personally, now's a grown banana. I would hate that. Our street here had a street party this week.
But I think it's different if you have a street party here than it is in the Philippines.
Yeah,
Like, think about
obviously.
the
There it's like a
Philippines.
fiesta.
It's a fiesta. You have food. You have singing where
Yeah,
people
oh,
actually
yeah.
can sing.
Yeah,
So
karaoke.
karaoke, carols,
Yeah.
and like nice lights. Whereas here it's hipster. I wouldn't want
It
to
got
go to that.
cancelled because it was raining. They wanted to do
Oh.
it at the park, and I was like, oh, that's unfortunate.
I would also not want to go to that too. But I think it's a different vibe if you do it back home in the Philippines.
Oh, no, you have to go.
Yeah.
And invite everyone. Like,
Yeah.
everyone needs to be invited
And
across the
it's
street.
it's a whole
It's
community.
like 5 doors that way, 5 doors that way is the least of the invitation. Or else if you will get called out for it.
Yeah, pretty much. Another community-centric approach that we have, I think it's a lot very familial, but most of our parents will end up raising the grandchildren.
Oh, okay.
Because,
Like your cats.
yeah,
your
like
kids.
my kids, my parents look after my kids, my cats, because we're busy working.
Correct.
But I know, like, when I speak to my Anglo co-workers that don't have much family, they would put their kids in childcare.
You know why?
Why?
Because maternity leave doesn't exist in Asia.
True. That's
So
true.
there was no one else to give your baby to.
Well, I was talking to one of the doctors.
And
like,
neither do like childcare. Childcare was like, for me, when I moved here, after school care and childcare was like a new concept.
I never went to after school care.
I mean, I didn't go, but everyone had, I'm
yeah,
going to
everyone
after school care. And
I
I'm
also
like,
was like, what's that?
do your parents hate you?
I don't-
like,
Where's your parents?
yeah, don't you have a family? What's your auntie that you stay
Yeah.
with? What's your uncle that you
Because
stay
that's
with?
so true. Like, our auntie would pick me up
Yeah,
and I'll just hang out with, like, our cousin mom
Yeah.
until my dad got home.
exactly. So it's like, what do you mean you're going to
That's
after
true.
school care? Like, what's that?
But I remember talking to this doctor, like, one of the doctors I work with,
Mm.
and he had twins and he put them in childcare because him and his wife both work. 50K
A year?
for both of them. And I was like, what kind of childcare are you
A year?
Yeah. I was like, what childcare are you putting them through that it's like a tuition?
If it's 50K a year, that's almost the same price as like
private
a
school,
private
yeah.
school per one person.
Yeah. So I was like, where are you putting these kids? I don't know where they put them. But in my head, I was like, nah, fuck that. My parents are getting the kids.
Yeah, but also if you're gonna give 50K for some rando to take your kids, give me 50K and I'll take care of your kids.
Absolutely.
And I'll do a better job, I
But
reckon.
why can't they just go one day a week? And then he's like, we don't have family here. And I was
Then
like,
fly them in.
Yeah,
It's cheaper.
literally.
How about that?
our other cousin here in Australia would literally used to fly his parents here every year to stay for the 3-month tourist visa to
Yeah,
look after
yeah,
his kids.
to look after the
Yeah.
kids. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And literally, if you had enough family overseas, you could go every 3 months, someone different to come
That's
take care of the
true.
kids, and,
And
it
it's a
will
break
still
for
be
them.
and it will still be cheaper than 50K for
What the
2 kids.
heck? But that's, I guess, that's the thing. I'm like, we think about.
Is this an Asian co-worker of
No,
yours?
no, he's British.
Okay, makes sense. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can't imagine
No,
that.
Asians would fly their parents in.
Exactly, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Cheaper.
Absolutely. They would fly their parents in, and then we have both parents. We would split it. Half the week with the other grandparent, the other half with another grandparent.
Oh my god, you'll never see your kids. They'll be
That's
raised by their
Fine.
grandparents.
I was raised by my grandparents.
That's true.
No, I'll see them. I just need a break.
On the
coming up.
weekends.
Yeah.
No, not even on the weekends. On Wednesdays.
I sound like a terrible.
From Wednesdays from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and then they go to bed and then the next day they're off to the other
Yeah,
grandparent.
100%. Like, bye. See you
Bye.
at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm terrible, but I already planned it out. I'm like, nah, I can't. Love them, but need time for
What do you
myself.
mean love them? You don't have them yet.
Yeah,
they don't
I love them
exist.
hypothetically. I will love them, but I also need time for myself. This is how I'm traumatizing them.
Yeah, I can't wait
No.
because they're gonna be like 18 and they're gonna be like, we don't know who our mum is.
And I feel like, don't forget, we are a
Come home at 10 at the latest.
I'll be like, we are a collectivist culture. Don't forget about me. So something exciting came out today.
Shawn Mendes.
I think he came out ages ago.
He hasn't.
At this point, he's practically out, but we can't assume. Anyways,
I'm just gonna leave you out on that edge.
no, something exciting came out today, and I knew it came out because at 6:30 this morning, I went on Instagram.
Me? Is it me? Was it my
No,
story?
it wasn't your
Okay,
story.
really?
You were like the second person I saw.
Yeah, I was like shocked because no one else had posted it yet, and I was like, I'm gonna be the
Someone at Europe posted it.
Okay, I'm gonna be the trendsetter today,
But
and I
yes,
was.
I woke up and I was like, oh, it started. Everyone's posting this fucking
Yeah, it's quite late this year.
Spotify wrapped summaries
2024.
on the stories. And I don't give a shit about anyone else.
No, of course, no one gives a shit about anyone
Which
else's.
is why I never
But-
post mine.
But
Like,
I post mine because I then look back to my story archives to see what it was the year before.
I just screenshot it and then that's all I
I
have.
should start putting as highlights on my Instagram, which
no,
I will.
No one's, oh no.
Is that too lame?
That's so lame. No one cares. But anyway, so I was like, oh my gosh, Spotify rap. So while Jacob is like sleeping next to me, I started playing my Spotify rap on my phone.
And it's like, it's you shaping your body.
It actually was. No, it was like down bad crying at the gym.
Okay.
And I was like, fuck. That was like the first song. And I was like, oh no. Because I spent a good amount of time in the last 3 months trying to like change the algorithm. But unfortunately, my number one was still Taylor Swift.
Me too.
And that makes me really upset.
So on that, the second year where Taylor Swift is my number one.
This is also the second year Taylor Swift's my number one.
And this is also the second year she's the most streamed artist on Spotify.
Interesting. I was in her
I
top,
think it's rigged.
I was in the top 3% of listeners.
Vincent was in the top 0.05.
Well, that's great. But I'm not surprised.
See?
Wow. But I thought I was high. 0.05 is very
Yes.
high. It says that I listened to Taylor Swift at how many minutes? I listened to Taylor Swift 17 days in a row.
That's fine. There's no way. See, last year I understand because
The
it was
Eras tour.
Yeah, I mean it
And she
happened
had
in
a lot of
February.
albums out, yeah.
It was February. She also had a lot of albums out last
Yeah.
year, and it was leading up to the year, so I was playing. But that was fine last year. I accepted that,
Yeah.
and then I got her little message from her
Oh,
back
yeah,
behind
yeah,
the
yeah.
stage, which every person got
Which
probably
pissed
this
me
year.
off. 'Cause I'm like, oh,
And I was like, oh, it's the same outfit. She's just older.
yeah.
Um,
With cheek fillers.
Is
It
it?
looks like she got cheek fillers.
So I think it's rigged.
Yeah,
I
literally.
think it's rigged because I haven't listened to her straight, like full on, since February.
I haven't listened to her since, I'm going to say June, but I know for like the first half of the year, I definitely listened to Tortured Poets a lot to like learn and like see which songs I like. But
I don't like that album.
it's okay. I don't mind
Hot
it.
take.
It grew on me, but it's okay.
Now I'm
But
gonna have
anyway.
to listen to it and then give her 2026 as well. Fuck.
Nah, don't need to. But anyways, the last 3 months, I was heavily on Sabrina Carpenter.
Did
I was
she,
like,
did she make it?
she was my number 3.
Okay, so she's on the list.
She's on my list, but she
Okay.
wasn't even like close to the top because my number 2 is Ariana, and that
You're
makes sense.
so basic.
Yeah, I'm
You
a-
are-
I'm a
I mean,
white
it
girl.
makes sense. Like you've got
I'm a white
Taylor
girl
Swift,
side.
Ariana, and Espresso Girl.
And my number 4 used to be my number 1 for like 10 years. It was Ed Sheeran. But now
Yeah, Ed
it's
Sheeran
no.
has disappeared off mine. He's been gone for the last 2 years,
But
which makes sense.
my last one's Kendrick, which is he was always in my
Okay,
top 5.
yeah.
However, I also know why it's like this. It's because I only listen to usually to like songs. So if I save the song on my like song,
Yeah.
unless I'm really craving like an album or a playlist specifically, I'll Google it. But most of the time, it's whatever songs are already my live songs. It'll just rotate through.
Yeah, there you go.
So it'll have a lot of Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift in it.
Yeah, same here. So that's why. So my top 5. So starting with number 1, I've got Taylor Swift, Mariah Carey, Eclipse, which is a fake band from the K-drama, 10cm, which is a Korean.
Wow, look at this K-pop entry. You never used to have K-pop entries in here.
Yeah. Wait till you see my top songs. And Adele is number 5.
Which used to be your number 1.
Yeah.
I remember.
Or number 2. So her and Mariah would be like fighting. Yeah, interchanging.
I remember one year when you had Adele number 1, I messaged you and I was like, were you sad to see her?
And I don't think I was.
No, but you were just like, because all your top 5 songs are all Adele as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the year 30 came out.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is a great album. I was actually listening to 25 recently and I was like,
That's a great album.
Is a great album.
That's a great album.
This is better than 30. Every song in 25 hits.
Yes.
It claps. And then my top 5 songs is Love You With All My Heart, which is from an OST of a TV show. Run Run, also from a TV show. Sudden Shower, also from a TV show. There's this Korean characters, which I don't know what it is, but I think it's translated to Goodbye, which is also from a TV show.
God.
Hotel de Luna, a K-drama show. And then Way Home, which is also from a
I'm
K.
afraid
So all my
K-pop.
top songs are, yeah, in a sense it's K songs. I don't know if it's K-pop per se, if that makes sense.
I'm afraid
It's
to
not
say
like
my
bands.
top songs because they are so wide.
Oh, okay. Do you have any? It doesn't make sense because none of my top songs.
But
Oh,
you
actually,
can
I
just
do
be
have a
listening
few.
to like the same song, but it doesn't mean listening to the artist a lot.
That's true. What's your number 1?
It's Down Bad by Taylor Swift, which I understand. I remember.
Is that in Tortured Poets?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I blasted this a lot when I the
How
album
does that
came
one
out.
go?
I'm down bad, crying at the gym.
Keep going.
I don't know the lyrics. Fuck it if I can't have him.
Oh, no, that.
Okay, that was my
That
favorite
sounds
song on
good
the album.
though. I'm gonna start listening to that.
Anyways, I replayed it a lot because it reminded me of my breakup with my ex-boyfriend because I was down bad at the gym crying.
Which ex-boyfriend?
Stickman.
Man,
That
I
was
can't wait
like-
till next week's episode because
I
we
was
need
down
to.
bad and I was like,
we-
oh my God, I remember lifting weights and I was like crying.
We need to. This is it. This is the last season we talk about him. I
He
think
was
we're
such
gonna
a
move on.
highlight of this.
Yeah.
So, like, to be fair, I hardly
He was
brought
a,
it
yeah.
up.
No, he was the cornerstone of this
I
season.
feel like you brought him up more than I did.
Yeah, because I need to move on. This is my way of moving on.
You were down
Because
bad
last
too.
year, you and Jacob were still new, so I didn't
Yeah.
mention him a lot.
Yeah.
But this year, you and Jacob are like not new.
So this is your year processing it.
Yeah, so I could be like, this fucking man. Anyway, next
Anyways.
week's episode.
Next week's episode, Justice. My second song is We Can't Be Friends by Ariana. Great song. I don't know how this album is not nominated for Grammys.
Isn't that about her asking a man cheating? Is this the one where the whole cheating scandal?
I think it's about like breaking up with someone and not being able to be friends with them. The Boy Is Mine is about them. her
that's the
boyfriend.
one.
But this album
Boy
is great.
Is
It should be nominated for
Mine.
Album of the Year, but it was
Which
not.
one?
Ariana's album,
What is it called?
Eternal Sunshine.
Oh,
The
is
most
that
recent
that one?
Yeah, the most
Okay.
recent one.
I don't know if I like that, but I'll listen to it
I
again.
liked it a lot. And anyways, it didn't make Album of the Year and everyone was angry. Like, nominated. It was nominated for like Pop Album, I think, but not Album of the Year.
Yeah, but that's because Beyonce is on there.
And
with
so is
her.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, of course.
And anyways, and Billie Eilish. My number 3 is Billie Eilish, Birds of a Feather, which I love that song too.
I hate that song.
I love it.
That is the most basic
I love
white bitch
it.
song ever.
I felt
Every
I
time
love
I
it so
hear it,
much.
no. I mean, I like Billie Eilish as an artist.
Birds of
It's
a
fine.
Feather.
But that song is so overplayed and so
That's
TikTokified.
That's probably why I hate it, is because it was overplayed.
Yeah,
But-
and then it's always the same video. The type of video that it is on TikTok is either cocktails or like
Two basic
furniture,
white
but
girls.
yeah, and it's like it's just the most basic white girl
Okay,
thing.
outside of that, it's a great song.
Yeah.
The drums are really good. Anyways, I like the drums part. My number 4 is another really basic song, Please, 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 which Jacob fucking hates.
I think Vincent hates that too. Oh no.
But he hates it because of TikTok, because of how...
Well, Vincent doesn't have TikTok. I think he hates it because it's Sabrina Carpenter. He doesn't rate Sabrina Carpenter.
Why? Her album's so good.
Oh, actually, no, I got that wrong. Espresso is the one that he doesn't like. Please, please, please. He kind of like can get into.
Yeah.
Until he realized it was her, and he was like,
Jacob hates all of those songs.
makes sense. Fair enough, Jacob.
But I'll get to him in a second. And then my last song is Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift.
That's the name of a song?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that any good?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. At least he didn't have Florida.
No, I don't like that song.
I don't like that song. I'm like, what a waste of space.
I don't like how Florence was in that. But anyways, Jacob.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Florence and the Machine.
I thought it was
And Taylor Swift.
No, I thought it was the other one, Post Malone.
No, that's Fortnite.
Ah, see, but I'm pretty sure in Fortnite there's about a lyric about Florida
yeah,
in there. And
she has lyrics about Florida all the time in
and
the
I was like,
album. But Florida, the song, has Florence and the Machine.
This is how out of like Tortured Poet departments I am. Like,
yeah,
you name songs in red, I can do it. You do it in 1989, I can do it.
yeah.
Lover, I can do it, but in that album, I cannot.
Okay, so did you have the like what you listened to during the year? So basically, in February and March, I wasn't that basic.
Yeah.
February, I was like softy throwback pop R&B phase. So I was listening to like Daniel Caesar, Mariah Carey, Caesar. I wasn't that basic.
Caesar.
Love Caesar.
I don't have it here, but I do remember it.
Yeah.
I remember my first two.
March, I was even less basic. I was listening to smooth roller skating alternative R&B, Solange, Beyonce's sister.
Oh, wow.
Victoria Monet, Q. I was like, wow, yeah, I'm fucking hipster ass.
That's very non-white of you.
Yeah, but then April, I was really white. It was
Yeah.
like Taylor Swift, Ariana, and Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, okay.
was really
That
white
got
then.
you.
Yeah.
April really got you. I actually got a few messages because I posted it on my story because obviously I want people to care what I'm listening to. I got a few responses being like, this is not like you. As in the
I'm shocked.
drama
Oh,
songs.
I thought you meant like that Mariah's not number one.
Oh, no, I think them seeing Taylor Swift number one is like,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. And Adele on that list makes sense. So 3 people of that 5 makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's all the top 5 songs that are like, what is this? Who are
I
you?
did think that when I saw your top 5.
Who are you? How dare you?
I was also like, this is not very like gay music.
Yeah, but you listen to it, it's very romantic. So it's a different kind of gay.
Well, Jacob, oh my God, he sent me his top 5. His number 1 artist is a Ukrainian band named Gra. And I was
Good
like,
for him.
what the fuck listens to this band? And then the other 5 artists are all very hipster.
He is
really
the anti-Taylor Swift.
He actually is the anti-Taylor
Because he's
Swift.
saying, I'm not giving any of my streams to this bitch. I'm going to give it to a band in Ukraine. Which
Yeah.
is fair,
That's
to be
very
honest with you.
him.
It's very fair. Because we pay a lot for Spotify here in Australia.
And it's always some like worldwide band. So he was on this like French band that sounds like a French detective music.
Mm.
And he was on this Indonesian band that was like, and then he was on Japanese jazz. Like it was, it's
See,
crazy.
he's spreading the joy.
Really, he's a very multicultural
Yeah,
man.
he's spreading the monies to the ones that don't get it as much.
Absolutely.
Which is fair because I think Taylor Swift being the number 1 streamed artist this year, 2 years in a row.
Well, maybe it'll die now because the Eras tour is about to end
No, I don't think it will.
until she releases Reputation.
Yeah, and I know she is.
She's
It's in
gonna
the back.
release it next year. Which is
It's in the back. It's ready. It's there. It's she just has to hit the button and it's like
It's just the marketing tactic because it's the one album that didn't get nominated for a Grammy.
maybe she wants it to get nominated. This
Can it
version.
still
it's
be
still
nominated?
yes,
Oh,
because it's essentially
wow.
a new album.
Interesting.
So
She's gonna wait till this Grammy season's over and then boom.
yeah, she won
Patient.
like best short film for I forgot
All
what it's
Too
called.
Well.
All Too Well. She won an award for that, for directing that.
Interesting.
And that is a 10-year-old
Everyone
song.
rides her dick too hard.
Yes. It's literally like, I think, but this is her goal. She wanted to show Kanye and Kim that she can be bigger than them as
And
a solo
I
artist.
don't think they care.
I think they do
I
secretly.
think maybe Kim does,
I think
but
Kim's,
Kanye
like, kinda
really
annoyed.
doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, Kanye's going to be the next president, so
I
it doesn't
fucking
really
will vote
matter.
for Kanye. I think he's crazy as shit, but I feel like it's funny.
It's exactly what America needs after
Yeah,
Donald Trump.
absolutely. Get crazier.
Yeah, but it's like, it's black. So,
And crazy.
yeah, it's black and crazy. So it's like, hey.
Diversity, huh?
Yeah. But also, it's like, oh, we're not racist. We just
I actually am a huge Kanye fan. Like, I think he's wild, but like
his old songs are really good.
creatively,
Very
brilliant.
good. Very
Brilliant
creative.
man.
Yes.
Well, side note, Jacob and I bought a record player, right? We were browsing vinyls and I was, oh my God, there was so many Taylor Swift vinyls.
Yeah.
And I was like, I refuse to give any more money to
I
Taylor
know.
Swift.
I'm gonna get one if I get a vinyl, like a vinyl
No.
player. I'd have to get one, and
No,
it'll
you
be
don't.
Lover because it has that nice pink.
No, you don't. You can just play it on Spotify. Give
I
her
can
less
play
money.
anything on Spotify.
Yeah, I know, but you don't need to give her any more money and can't give her more sales to get her number one because she has too much. So I refused, and my first vinyl was Jamiroquai, and I love it.
I don't know who that is.
I think you would know it if you.
Maybe I'll get an OST vinyl. Yeah,
that's better.
The
But-
Koreans need my money.
They need it more than
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. But you would know Jamiroquai from So Fresh. He
Sing
w-
me.
Fuck. I'm trying to think
Well,
of a
I don't know
Jamiroquai song.
Jamiroquai.
No, I'm trying to think of his like most popular song. You give me something that nobody else gives. I have to play it. Anyways,
Time's running out, so I don't. I know that sounds familiar. I feel like
It'll
this is
be in
something
your
Mart
So
will
Fresh
know.
CDs because it was in my So Fresh CD.
Okay, maybe they should do So Fresh vinyls.
Bring it
Isn't
back.
that a fucking idea?
Bring it back.
So Fresh, if you start doing it, I'm coming for you with a lawsuit. This year, the Spotify Wrap is a few days late. I think it's like a week.
It's a
late.
week late.
Yeah, it's a
Usually-
week. It's a week late. It usually
Yeah.
comes out last week in November.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
here it is, first week of December.
And I feel like it was
Apple-
a bit weak. But yes.
I get what you mean. They're running out of ways to make it
Yeah.
nicer. Apple released their Rewind earlier, and you had all these Apple Music users. You know who you are because you listen to this podcast as well on Spotify.
Yeah.
Posting it on their stories, and I'm like, this is pathetic. No one cares. And
This is how I realized I don't follow anyone that uses Apple Music.
yeah, I don't know who does, but turns out I'm following a couple of people. Anyway, the level of effort
Yeah.
that Apple puts is like Spotify Wrap 2019.
Like when it first came out. Yeah.
That's the effort it's at the
Interesting.
moment. Whereas Spotify, it's like, here's a video of Taylor Swift. Here's another video of your top artist. Here's all these fucking vagina-looking shapes. Am I the only one that thought
I
that?
didn't think that.
Okay, well now watch it again
Oh
when you
God.
get home.
Okay.
And it's like this. And I was like, this is very Freudian.
I hope that clip makes it on Instagram.
Oh, it will. Enough.
Anyways, tell us
Enough.
who is
Yeah.
your Spotify Wrapped number
No,
one.
don't tell us. I'll just look at your stories in the next couple of days. I'm sure it'll be there.
Will it? though?
Actually, you know what? Tell us. We
Tell
need
us.
we need engagement.
Yeah.
So
So tell us, and also
put it on the Spotify comments under this episode. Tell us who is your number one
Yeah.
Spotify artist. Does everyone just have Taylor Swift? Because I feel like that's the conspiracy. Everyone has Taylor, obviously
If
except
you're-
for
yeah,
Jacob.
Jacob.
But if you had listened to one Taylor Swift song in your Spotify, boom, she's your number
She's the
one
number
artist.
one. But yeah, tell us if you're a white basic bitch like me, because I'm not proud of it. But you know, it is what it is.
Correct.
Bye bye.
Yes, bye. But before we say bye, please follow us on Spotify. You can do that now. And then on top of following us on Spotify, you can also follow us on Instagram at Hazel and Marion,
Yeah.
at TikTok at Hazel and Marion, and YouTube at Hazel and Marion. You can subscribe. We put episodes up there now. And on top of following us, you can comment on all our episodes. That's now a thing that you can do. On Apple Podcasts, you can also subscribe there. But what's really nice is a 5-star rating.
5 stars, please. Only no less than that. If you're gonna give us less, just
Someone
stop.
gave us 4. I'm going to stop right there.
4.1.
Nothing. Anyway, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.